Hi guys, this is going to be a quick recording of this question I received in the Laser Lounge. So Jason Lopez says, what feature on LightBurn does it add that makes around the shape? I think he's referring to like an outer shape. Also, how do you clean my leather without changing the color? So I'm going to get to it. I'm going to teach you guys first how I'm designing my leather patch. And for this one, actually, I'm going to design using Illustrator first. So let me share my screen. And this is Illustrator. I'm just going to do a 3x3 template. I'm going to type in the main word. And I think, what is the font name for this one? I'm going to remove the filters first. And I'm doing sans serif font. And I want to say, I think this is what I did here. Let me just, I think this is the right letter. Maybe. It's not quite the same, but it's similar. So we're going to go with this one. With this font just for the sake of time, and then we're going to type in girls, and I want to say this is fair water. Let me just remove the filter one more time, and I'm going to pick a script font, and let's see. Yep, I think it is fair water. So in Adobe Illustrator, you can find fonts in different styles. Let me just explain it real quick. You can do sans serif search classification, serif with serifs, and then you can do the slab serif. And for this instance, I'm looking as a secondary font for my typography. I want a script. So just to save time in designing, I'm going to select, for my classification, it would be script font. And from what I recall, I think I used Fair Script Bold. So here is our font. And I think that's way too big. And I'm going to... So definitely this is not the font, but let me just share kind of like what I do to prepare this for LightBurn. So I'm going to go ahead and create outlines, and as you can see, your lines, the vector lines after you create outlines is overlapping for your script fonts. And so you just want to go in your Pathfinder and make sure, can you see this? I want to make sure that you can see it, that you unite the shapes together. So now I'm pretty happy with this. I have selected everything, and right now I'm going to go ahead and create an offset path, and we are doing round this time, and I think 1 is a little too much. I want to see. I think 8 might be better. I want to say 6 maybe. I think 6 is definitely better. So as you can see, it's very crowded and it looks messy, but that's okay. I'm going to unite everything by selecting that button, and I am going to remove by double clicking. Oh, sorry. By double clicking my shapes, I can remove this, and also I can delete some of the anchor points. I really don't need this anyway, so I just want to make sure that this stays clean. So now I'm pretty happy with this. I am going to remove the fill and group, and removing the fill, and this one would be want to say change it to 0.25 point. So with the outer shape selected, I'm going to go ahead and create another offset path. You can actually stop here before you add the outer one and add it in LightBurn later when you import this. But I'm just going to go ahead and create it anyway. So I think that's a little bit too much, and I'm going to select, I think 5 might be a great thing for this one. I think 5 for sure. So let's go ahead and I'm going to edit that just because I don't like how the lines kind of overlapped. So in this instance, I'm going to create the pretend stitching. I don't have a leather stitcher or industrial sewing machine yet. Hopefully I can maybe get my hands on one of those, just like Alicia, and I'm going to create my dashes. So I think I don't know if I like that. So maybe let's do a 2. Definitely 2. And I'm going to do 0. Oops. I think I'm pretty happy with this one. I'm going to zoom out and take a look and see if I like the overall look and feel. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to go ahead and hit expand appearance, and what will it do, all those dashes that we created, it's just going to make a vector around those shapes, and then that way I can apply a LightBurn rule for it, let's say engraving or scoring or cutting. So I think we're going to go ahead and say expand, and I'm going to unite just to make sure there are no loose lines. So from here, most times this works, but I'm going to teach you guys like a little bit of trick. I don't like to do this a lot because I do love to preserve my Illustrator file so I can go back and edit as I go if I want to make it for a different project. So in LightBurn, this is my original design. So if I copy and paste from Illustrator, since I created it in Illustrator, oh, I'm using the wrong thing. So I'm going to hit ungroup, and blue is my cut line, and this is now, if you zoom in, that is my dash, my faux stitching. My engraving is set to 300, and I don't really need a very deep engrave, so I do love 50 per power. I have 100 watt, and this is how I do it. And the other way, instead of doing copy and paste, I'm going to press save. I'm going to save this in my computer and load it. So I'm just going to stick it probably. Save it as an AI. Everything is outlined. And then when I open LightBurn, I can hit import. And I'm going to select AI. Or you can do all supported, or you can do vector formats. I'm going to go ahead and go back in the folder where I saved my file and import it. I'm going to select ungroup, and There it is. Oops, there it is. So this is my original. As you can see, my font is a bit different, but that's okay because we're just doing this quick demo. And so that's how I prepare my file for leather patches. And I'm going to switch back to my phone and show you guys how I clean after engraving. This is how I clean my leather after lasering. There's two styles. One is dry, not getting the leather itself wet before engraving, and this one actually has been dampened with water and then I engraved it. I'm going to teach you guys a couple ways on how I clean my leather after engraving. So let's try this method first. This is already dampened and then I engraved it. So the water evaporated a little bit, and so it's not so bad. I'm going to go ahead and use a magic eraser. I just like to cut it in small portions, and I have water just to kind of clean it out. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So don't do that. Don't dunk it in water just like I did. It just takes for a longer time to dry out. And so when you do this, make sure that your leather is dry before pressing. And so I don't know if you can see, it really gets the engraving dust off of the leather. I'm not going to do a thorough job right now, but it's pretty simple. I'm going to use a paper towel and just lightly dab. You don't want to use a brush just because I don't want to lose some of the details that I have engraved in my design. This is the design I have done for a local shop. And so we have a bunch of ladies over here that love their hats during lake season, and so I made this particular design for them. And the other way of cleaning is, and this is what I have been doing lately, and I am not a leather expert by any means, but this works and I like it because it's so fast. So this is an old bottle of LA Awesome, and I just refill it. I just spray just all around, and as you can see, it is working. It's doing its thing. So I'm going to use my magic eraser. Obviously, if I do this, I'm going to use a cleaner bowl and just scrub out all the things, all the engraving dust off of my engraving. And it's getting pretty clean. So a little bit messy, but it does the job as well. As you can see, it's nice and clean. And just cleaning that R a bit. There you go. And I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. So there you go. So I don't know if you can tell the difference in color. So this one is dampened with a little bit of water, not a lot, not soaking wet, and then engrave it. This one was completely dry, and then I sprayed it with LA Awesome and cleaned it a little bit with magic eraser. You can use any sponge as well if you want. At this point, you can wait for it to dry, or you can dye your material wet. Let's see what this looks like. Kind of what it looks like. I like golden brown. Oh, this one is totally full, so I hope I don't make a mess when I open this one. Let's just give it a try. well, there's a little bit of film there, and I'm just going to use a teeny bit. A little goes a long way. I like to use makeup sponge, but when you visit Tandy or any other leather shops, my local shop, when I buy this, it comes with this little sponge or applicator. But I do love my makeup sponge, and I get them from Target. So this is once again cleaned. Let's see. I'm gonna do, so this one is cleaned with Totally Awesome, and this one is just cleaned with Magic Eraser only, dampened before engraving. So I'm gonna test a little bit. So this is with the golden brown dye, and I'm actually loving this. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I'm gonna just do it halfway, and I'm also going to show you guys my favorite product from Tandy, and you can buy this on Amazon as well. So I love the antique finish. It's like a paste, and once again I'm going to use my sponge as an applicator. You don't need a lot. I just want to use just a teeny bit, and it looks pretty bad, but don't freak out. You can work it in, and I am actually loving this look. So typically when I do this, I like to let my leather sit and dry for more than 24 hours. If you're in a hurry, you can definitely apply your color when it's a little bit wet, and that's okay, but I kind of like it dry. I have a finished product here that that I've already done, and this is kind of like aged look. Let me see if I can find one. So this one is a hat I've made. This is done with the aging paste with this one. And now I'm going to show you guys how the one that's completely I think this one I did not wet before engraving, and so I'm gonna test it with the golden brown dye. So I don't know if you can see the difference, but it's not too different. It achieves the same look and feel. You can add more or less. I'm going to use the paste at the top portion just so you can see the difference. Make sure when you do open your paste, you save this little chipboard that's underneath the cap, just to keep it nice and fresh. And once again, it looks pretty terrible, but once you work it in, just kind of like rub it and work that paste all throughout your surface, you can achieve a more antique finish. I like this because it's a little bit subtle with a teeny bit of color. You're gonna want to let this let your dye or antique finish dry for a while. I like to probably give it like a day to dry, and then you can add your own finishing sheen that you want. You can condition it however you like it.